Both federal and local authorities are casting a wide net in an effort to locate rioters who took part in the Capitol insurrection. CNN senior investigative correspondent Drew Griffin identified some of them, all clearly visible in photos taken during the riot. The man dressed in what looks like buffalo horns and is shirtless is a guy named Jake Angeli from Arizona. He has referred to himself as a QAnon shaman. He's a QAnon conspiracy theorist. He not only broke into the Senate, he just posed and stood on the Senate dais. The man who broke into Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office is Richard Barnett, a gun rights supporter from Arkansas, who has at one point referred to himself as a white nationalist. We mentioned him at the top of the program. Tim Giannett is a far-right activist who live-streamed video of himself inside the building for more than 25 minutes. And Nick Ox is a member of the Proud Boys far-right group in Hawaii. Then there's another man, an elected state representative from West Virginia, a Republican named Derek Evans. He can be heard shouting, we're in, baby," while moving among a crowd of rioters through the Capitol doorway. Evans' attorney released a statement late today saying his client is also an independent activist and journalist who did nothing wrong and was merely filming a, quote, historic and dynamic event. CNN's Shimon Prokupecz joins us now with more on the effort to identify the attackers. So what are authorities saying about how they plan to prosecute those responsible?
Well, it's pretty serious, Anderson. We're talking about sedition. That's what the U.S. attorney here in Washington, D.C. is saying. This is a sedition conspiracy, far-ranging, wide-ranging investigation involving the FBI and other authorities. So this is about as serious as it gets. And what they're going to try and do is they're going to try and figure out how many of these people were working together, exactly what groups they were part of, and use that evidence as part of their investigation and to potentially bring charges. All those people that you mentioned, those are the people that authorities are looking for. Many of them do not live here. They have all since, what we're told, have all since fled Washington, D.C. So the local police here, the Washington police here, they've put out photos of them to outside police agency to be on the lookout for them. So they are actively looking for them. But this is about as serious of an investigation. Certainly listening to the D.C. U.S. Attorney today talk about how serious of an investigation this is and the resources that they're putting behind this, we could see so many of these people, up to about 30 people in all, that they're looking for, be charged in this sedition conspiracy.
I mean, one of the men, I read an article about the guy who put his feet up on Pelosi's desk. I mean, he should be well known to law enforcement. He's actually raised money for local law enforcement, I guess, in his town, according to one article I read. Top federal prosecutor for Washington, D.C. said the office is looking at anyone involved in the insurrection for possible charges. Did he say anything specifically about the president or, Rudy Giuliani or Donald Trump Jr.?
Well, certainly anyone who was part of this or incited this, their comments, that is what the U.S. Attorney said, including the president, because he was specifically asked. And he said that he's going to be looking at everything to see how that played a role in this conspiracy and whether or not that incited. I mean, it's obvious that it did, but this is something they're going to have to try to prove, and they are going to use some of the words from the president. What we can wind up seeing here eventually, Anderson, is that a criminal complaint, an indictment, the words from the president, the words from Rudy Giuliani and other people who took the stage here yesterday, and even in the days leading up to this, all be included in court documents used to show that these words helped incite what went on here yesterday.
Shimon Prokupecz, appreciate it. One thing that may aid law enforcement is how vocal the attackers were, how willing they were to broadcast events as they were happening. CNN's Al Reeve has the story.
What are we supposed to do? Okay? The Supreme Court's not helping us. No one's helping us. Only us can help us. Only we can do it.
A mass group of Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday to stop the certification of what they believe was a fraudulent election.
Unquestionable that our votes were stolen. It's unquestionable. There's so much proof. We want our
representatives to do the right thing and decertify the 7 swing states.
The rally started peacefully as tens of thousands gathered outside the White House. They cheered Donald Trump and his allies as they continued to lie that the election was stolen.
Let's have trial by combat.
He just said trial by combat. I'm ready. I'm ready.
People marched down 2 avenues to the Capitol, and once they got there, some broke through barricades. Once a few rioters broke into the building, the mob followed.
I was actually here while this guy started breaking in with a cane. Obviously, there's a power struggle. There's peaceful guys that are like, no, we don't want to do that. Then there was that guy. You know, he just said, well, I'm breaking it in.
We broke down the barriers, and we rushed them. We charged them. We got all the way to the steps and made a line. So we stood there and we tried to push them back a little bit until finally they started getting rough with us. So we had to push them back. So that's what we did. We pushed them back. We tried to get up the steps. They wouldn't let us up. So then they started pepper spraying and macing everybody.
Thank you.
It's a milk and ride.
They maced me. They pushed me out and they maced me.
We spoke to some people who broke into the Capitol.
Literally just what happened in there? Tell us what happened.
Yeah, we went in there, and then I walked in, and there's just a whole bunch of people lighting up in some Oregon room. I don't know if it's an Oregon, there's tons of Oregon paintings, but they were smoking a bunch of weed in there. And then I moved it down. So many statues. Cops are very cool. They're like, hey guys, have a good night. And well, some of them, it's just crazy. It's really weird. You can see that some of them are on our side.
We've reached out to the Capitol Hill police for comment, but have not yet heard back.
We've had your backs for a long time now. Long time.
A huge group of us stormed inside. And as we started, we were basically shouting at the cops. And there were people arguing with them, trying to get them on our side, basically.
Clashes with police happened sporadically throughout the day, and waves of tear gas wafted over the crowd. They said they felt like they were doing something good.
This is our capital! We built it! You know, there's a bunch of really, really pissed off regular folks. I got a job. This is Wednesday. I'm supposed to be at work. Yeah.
That's what we're doing. We're fighting back.
And what's the point? What's the end game?
What's the point?
Yeah.
We're losing our freedom. What do you mean, what's the point?
Taking our freedom, locking us down, and turning this country into a blasted socialist republic. And that is not right. That's what I'm doing here.
Ellie Reed, CNN, Washington, D.C.
Thank Ellie Reed for that reporting. Well, first-hand look at the assault at the heart of American democracy. As you heard, many of those who stormed the Capitol did so motivated by all kinds of false beliefs, including conspiracy theories, yet another challenge facing America in the days and weeks and years ahead. Up next, one of the most reliable allies of